Sup? Tank Davis is about to have a press conference with Isaac Cruz. It's a virtual press conference, a Zoom call for their fight happening on December the 5th, 2021. Where's this fight taking place again? Isn't it in Vegas? No, it's in the Staples Center in Los Angeles. And remember, it was supposed to originally be Romero, WBA 135-pound interim champion, taking on WBA world champion Gervonta Tank Davis at 135. And the winner was going to be the mandatory for Teofimo Lopez's 135-pound portion of that title, whether him or George Kambosos have it on November the 27th when they fight next week on the Zone. I'm T Street Controversy with Fight View 360. We got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, we got to talk about the Rolly situation. And I'm not going to mince words. But it looks like, allegedly, with some fire there. Now, I understand, innocent until proven guilty, especially somebody like me who has dealt with a lying female before. I've dealt with it. I lived it to the point where you've seen the videos. I had to literally dox her at one point in time to clear my name, because that shit ain't no joke, especially in this era of Me Too and everything. A woman say some shit, because you can't, you know what it is? You can't doubt the victim. You see what I'm saying? You can't say, nah, I think she's lying. You can't do it. Even if she is lying and she's lying, you can't say it or you're going to get your ass canceled. Trust me, I lived it. I was going to court for it 4 years. I got boxes and boxes of court documents. I understand how powerful a woman's scorn can be. Like, they can fuck you up, especially if you're a minority male, bro. But in the Rolly scenario, it's a lot of women saying the same shit. You see what I'm saying? That's what does him in, And the question that people are going to have is, well, how come they're bringing all this shit up right now? Where was this energy before? Well, that's what happens when your names start getting out there more. In this case, he was about to fight on pay-per-view, $79.99 in a fight. Personally, I wanted to see it. Even though I felt that it wasn't a pay-per-view fight, but I understand how the business works, where, they want to keep Tank Davis on pay-per-view, and Rolly Romero was a pretty charismatic dude. But if you want my personal opinion, I think he did that shit. Court of public opinion is a motherfucker, man. Here's the thing. I always said, I'd rather be guilty in a court of law than a court of public opinion, because public opinion is your livelihood. Police reports out. No, she did go to the police, though, according to Boxing Scene. But Rolly's a very controversial, polarizing figure. And I hate to be the one to say this, but, the shit looks a little suspect. You see what I'm saying? My bad. Let me hit the vape. It didn't dry it out. So Tank Davis is taking on Isaac Cruz, who was just so happened going to be next in line for the IBF title at 135 pounds. And he would have been fast-tracked if Lopez Kambosos didn't happen. 22-1-1, 15 KOs. Last fight, Francisco Vargas. Yes, that Francisco Vargas. Jose Matias Romero. Who did he just fight? Miguel Rivera a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, okay, all right. And then before that, he sent him, Diego Magdaleno, straight to hell. I'm talking about he beat the shit out of him. And I believe, what undercard was this? Was this Porter? Spence Porter? What card was this? No, Tank Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, my bad. And if you look at Tank Davis's record, 25-0 with 24 KOs. He just turned 27 last week. So basically, listen, he's not like this young guy no more in regards to boxing. Yes, 27 is still young, but what I'm saying is it's like, okay, Tank, all right, how many more of these in-house fights you're going to have? And we're going to talk about that later on, I guess. Last opponent's Mario Barrios, 140 pounds he competed at. That was a very, very good fight, in my opinion. Going into that fight, I gave Mario Barrios a good chance to not only win, but put on a good show. He didn't win, but he did put on a good show, to the point where Tank Davis had to chase him down to knock him out. The Leo Santa Cruz fight, Leo Santa Cruz was laying hands on Tank Davis, but, well, size and power. And Leo, boxing IQ, throwing the same damn punch 3 times, got him put to sleep something fierce. We haven't seen him since. And yes, that was just a little over a year ago. Yorkis Gamboa had 1 foot, 1 shoe. Tank Davis struggled right there, but ever since then, he's been, like doing business. To look at the rankings at 135 pounds, my bad. Of course, Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos fighting next week on The Zone. Me and Big J are going to be doing our video on that fight tomorrow. We'll be bringing up Tank Davis as well. Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz are fighting next month. Wait, when are they fighting again? Remind me, but down below in the chat, I believe it's the first week. It's the first week of December, right? In Vegas. Jojo Diaz is having a media call tomorrow. We will be here. Yeah, Leo has been at all the fights. Yeah, he has been at the fights, though. You can see him ringside. But Jojo Diaz, WBC interim champion, is taking on WBC champion Devin Haney. Jojo Diaz is having a media call tomorrow. I forgot the exact time, but tune in tomorrow. Jojo Diaz is going to be having a Zoom call. Lomachenko and Richard Comey are going to be facing off in December. What's that? December the 18th? Something like that. I don't remember the exact date. Maybe a week earlier. Teofimo Lopez, don't be surprised if he ends up being the next WBO mandatory. And if Teofimo Lopez defeats George Kambosos, I don't care what Tio is saying. I see him versus Lomachenko on pay-per-view on ESPN in the first half of 2022. Ryan Garcia, we don't know what he's doing. I gave up on him. I was never high on him anyway. And all the guys I just mentioned, outside of Kambosos and Isaac Cruz, I think can beat Ryan Garcia. So once again, I'm not high on Ryan Garcia. I think Devin would beat him, Jojo would beat him, Tia would beat him, Tank Davis would beat the shit out of him, and Lomachenko would beat him. And if you look at the 135-pound division, that's pretty much it. It's top heavy. Well, we got to figure out what the hell Javier Fortuna is. Yvonne Mendy's still kicking around. And potential guys to move up from 130 to 135. Let's see. Miguel Burchelt, maybe. He's been flirting with 135, but Bob Arum, Top Rank, is trying to make him versus Shakira Stevenson. Oscar Valdez and Navarrete, 126-pound Navarrete, are in talks, by the way. Bob Arum and Top Rank are completely for that fight. Where the hell has Tevin Farmer been? By the way, what's going on with the chat? Let me fix this. My bad. 1 minute. Let me see what's going on with the chat here. Get a little refresh going. It's probably going to pop up something crazy fast. There we go. There we go. So let me catch up on some questions. In fact, let me open up this Zoom link here. Make sure we're on time to the Zoom call. So once again, Tank Davis and Isaac Cruz and momentarily are going to be joining a media Zoom virtual press conference where they're going to be taking questions and talking about the fight. What press conference is this? Hold on. Oh, and tomorrow we're going to be here for Darren Williams versus Frank Gore press conference for the co-feature chief support to Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, which is happening on also, I believe, December the 18th. Correct me if I'm wrong with these dates. It's a lot of fights coming up, very busy. But I am happy to be here full time for you guys. We've been pumping out a lot of videos the last few days. If you don't know, I was suspended for the better part of 2 weeks from uploading content on YouTube because of a video I did 2+ years ago. And some copyright issues as well. But more importantly, it was the video I did 2 years ago that had me suspended for bullying and harassing sons of bitches. So yeah, the question I have is, I do have Tank Davis beating Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is a better fight on paper and competitively than Tank Davis versus Rolly, because I think Rolly was going to go to sleep, but Rolly, he was on pay-per-view because basically he can talk. He's able to sell fights. You gotta have some moxie, some spunk with you to be able to really, really put on a good fight on pay-per-view these days, unless you're somebody like Canelo Alvarez or something. But basically, you kind of get where I'm going with it. So the question I have is, let me make sure I join this Zoom here. The question I have is, who is Tank going to fight next? How long can they keep him in-house before they have to work with other promoters, to get a significant fight for him? And that seems to be what's going on with a lot of PBC fighters now. And the reason why I'm saying PBC, because I understand how people can get all triggered and say, well, Top Rank has to do it too. The Zone has to do it too. But I'm saying PBC because they're the king of the hill, the top of the mountain. You know, they've been known for keeping fighters in-house and away from other outside talent for years now. So me saying, like, singling out PBC, I'm calling it like I see it. I'm calling it like it is. But now they're running out of in-house fighters. Before, they had like such a large stable, which they still do, of fighters that they can put together, of fights they can put together and keep things on their side of the street. Things are not that easy no more. So, for example, let's think about it, right? Let's really, really think about it. Who in-house, PBC in-house for the hardcores, who can Tank Davis fight next if he beats Isaac Cruz? Now, remember, they want to keep him on pay-per-view. So it's got to be a pay-per-view worthy fight in-house. And let's look at 135. Now, I don't see Tank Davis ever going back down to 130. Remember, he vacated the belt, the division that he actually had a significant championship in was in 130. He had the 130-pound super title. So the question is now, remember, he vacated that belt. So he's not going back down to 130. Gutierrez and Colbert are going to fight. Hold on. Gutierrez and Colbert are going to fight for that vacant 130-pound title that Tank vacated. So who in-house can they have Tank Davis fight after Isaac Cruz? Regis is a Pro Bellum fighter. Yes, Richard Schaefer runs Pro Bellum. And we don't know how the PBC Pro Bellum relationship is going to work. We don't know. Regis Pro, but let's say, for example, Regis Pro grade, but if he fights Thurman, that would have to be 147. And would Thurman take the fight? Thurman's going on a 3-year layoff. You know, in July of 2022, it'll be 3 years since Thurman's been in the ring, and from my understanding, he'll be eligible to go on the Hall of Fame ballot. That's crazy. He'll be eligible to go on the Hall of Fame ballot. I believe it's like 3 years you have to be out the ring or something like that. We're talking about pay-per-view fights. Matias is not a pay-per-view fight. Like, you got to understand what I'm saying. We've been watching boxing way too long to know that Subriel Matias and Miguel Rivera, they may be trying to get them there, but they're not a pay-per-view fight. You know, so who? Keith Thurman was hurt fucking 3 years. Okay. So who between 140 and 135 that they can sell a pay-per-view for Tank Davis? Russell Jr. is possible. There you go. We got Gary Russell Jr. That's possible. Gary Russell Jr. would have to move up, though, but he's been flirting with it and talking about it. And as we're looking at the rankings, I'm trying to find somebody. I'm sorry. And then, you know, unless he's moving to 147. But the fact is, Mario Barrios wasn't a pay-per-view fighter, but he was a Mexican fighter with a nice following, Mexican undefeated following behind him. You see what I'm saying? That's been the PBC Al Heyman system for years. How don't you guys know this already? Miguel Rivera don't have it yet. Miguel Rivera wasn't headlining events like Mario Barrios was, or being like co-features to whatever pay-per-view that was. I think it was Spence versus Mikey Garcia. Like, I'm sorry, I understand, like, you know, but Subriel Matias and Miguel Rivera don't sell like Mario Barrios would have. We've been watching boxing way too long. So Gary Russell Jr., depending on what the relationship with PBC and Pro Bellum is, maybe Regis Prograis. But regardless, if he beats, see, we don't know what's going to happen with Rolly yet. We don't know if Rolly's going to be stripped of his WBA interim title because of the legal things going on with him. We don't know yet. We don't know what's going on right there. Hold on, let me share this video. I forgot to share it. Yeah, we don't know what's going on with Rolly yet. That's a big question. We can't really speculate too much because that fight between Tank Davis and Rolly can still be revisited if Rolly clears his name in some type of way. I don't know about Tevin Farmer, man. I don't know where he's at right now. So once again, it's going to be, let me see if Showtime put it up on their page yet. It's going to be $79.99 Showtime pay-per-view, and that will be Showtime will have had 3 pay-per-views in about a 6-week span. You know, that's Canelo versus Plant, Tank versus Cruz, and then Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Like that, it's a lot of pay-per-views. And then remember, we're paying for Crawford Porter. Fury versus Wilder 3 may seem like a long time ago, but what was that, about 5 weeks or so ago? You know? A lot of pay-per-views whooping our ass, bro. Now, Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz, I expect for it to do about 150, 200,000 pay-per-view buys, depending. But Tank Davis's name has been, you know, advancing. Remember, Tank Davis's last couple of pay-per-views have averaged about 200,000 pay-per-view buys or so. You know, so hold up. Yeah, we are on time for this media event, just making sure. Yeah, Tevin's been out for a minute, but I was never really high on Tevin Farmer. Like, you know, he didn't really have the punching power to keep people off of him. But also, he would slow down and become easy to hit. So, you know, for somebody that's supposed to be a slickster type boxer, you got to move a lot. So this media event's will be starting in about, it's supposed to start 5 minutes ago. Mikey Garcia coming up of a loss. I mean, I don't know. Mikey Garcia is kind of a diva-ish when it comes to picking his fights. So, you know, Mikey might try to want a win before he gets in there with Tank Davis. But is Mikey Garcia still with Eddie Hearn? You know, that's a video eventually I'm going to have to do. Because Eddie Hearn has been having a fucked up year. And also, it's not being talked about enough about how he's losing and has lost a significant amount of his stable to Sky Sports MTK Global's boxer. And also what I want to know is MTK money in Probellum? Like, where is Probellum getting all this money from? Because I'm getting emails and media are getting emails of fighter signings like every day. Yeah, I don't think this Davis versus Cruz pay-per-view is going to do well. Let's go look at Tank Davis's last couple of pay-per-views. Before we do that, though, let's talk about the undercard, because I do like the undercard. Sebastian Fundora versus Sergio Garcia. That's supposed to be a 154-pound title eliminator. But I thought that Erickson Lubin was the mandatory already for Jermell Charlo. If you don't know, we're still waiting on what's going to happen with Jermell Charlo Castaño 2. And if Bakram Murtazaliev is going to really, really enforce his IBF, you know, mandatory to nix that fight or whatever. But correct me if I'm wrong, the winner of Fundora versus Sergio Garcia is supposed to fight Lubin, and then the winner of that becomes the mandatory for Charlo. You also got Sergey Derevyanchenko taking on Carlos Adames. The question I have is this fight going to take place at 154 or 160? Because Sergey Derevyanchenko went on the record, I forgot where I read it, but he's interested in moving down to 154, and Carlos Adames has been competing at 154. So it says middle right there, but really we don't know where this fight's going to be at. So don't be surprised if Sergey Derevyanchenko weighs in at like 157 or some shit like that. And then Eduardo Ramirez versus Miguel Marriaga is going to open up the pay-per-view. Solid pay-per-view card, but not a pay-per-view fight for the main event. This is a fight, Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. We would have got on regular Showtime a couple of years ago. For real. For real, we would have got this on regular Showtime. This ain't no different than Tank Davis versus Cuellar or Tank Davis versus Pedraza. But I get it. Tank Davis brings in a lot of money, you know, and he commands a lot of money. More money that being on regular Showtime can't compensate anymore. So there's a lot of big fights outside of PBC that can be made with Tank Davis. Like, for example, if Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to fight Lomachenko in a rematch, then what about Tank Davis versus Teofimo on pay-per-view? Of course, both companies would have to work together. Or what about Tank Davis versus Lomachenko? You know, if Lomachenko beats Richard Comey. You know, what about Tank Davis versus Josh Taylor? Like, there are options out there. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, hell. You know, there's options out there, but they're outside of the Mayweather Promotions PBC stable. And let's not forget, Mayweather and Ellaby went on the record multiple times, on the record, to say they're going to keep Tank Davis in-house. Like, bro, that's fucking toxic boxing behavior. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. You know? So, yeah, we got a busy week. Of course, it's Crawford versus Porter fight week. As I said, tomorrow, Jojo Diaz is having a media call. Wednesday, Crawford versus Porter final press conference. It's busy. It's busy. You like Zone better than Showtime? What? Crazy. I can't really gauge what Pitbull Cruz, Isak Pitbull Cruz is going to really bring to the table pay-per-view numbers wise. I can't really gauge it. You know, like we're not hearing anybody talking about Isak Cruz. I'm not hearing anything. You know, are we hearing it? Yeah, Leonard Ellerby do be saying some shit. But you know what? He's grown on me, though. I used to couldn't stand Leonard Ellerby. Like, he's grown like a lot as a promoter and as a mouthpiece for Mayweather Promotions, you know, and he can come across as being rational. But yeah, the options are beginning in-house, you know, pay-per-view is, you know, becoming to be a bit limited for Tank Davis. You know, but if they bring on him versus Keith Thurman, I would love to see it. But frankly, I think that Keith Thurman too big for him, to be honest. You know, they have weight classes for a reason. But then again, you know, I never thought that I would see Canelo competing at 168, 175. I never thought that. You know, especially, you know, 175. Like, I never thought I'd be able to see it. So you never know these days. You know, one question I would love to ask Terrence Crawford is, where does he see himself ending his career? You know, because he's been talking about Canelo in the media, and I want, you know, like, okay, you know, like, what division do you see yourself ending your career at? For example, what division do you see Tank Davis ending his career at? I can see Tank Davis fighting at 147, but maybe at catchweightish. I don't know. Oh, the media event's about to start.
Recording in progress.
All right, guys. We're going to talk after the media event. Take a time out, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. I'm T Street Controversy with Fight View 360.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Certainly want to welcome you to this press conference for Gervonta Davis versus Isak Cruz. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing. And on Sunday, December 5th, Showtime continues its unprecedented run of bringing fight fans what they want: high stakes, meaningful world championship fights. And that's exactly what we're going to bring you on Sunday, December 5th from Los Angeles, the City of Angels, the Staples Center, when Gervonta Tank Davis, 3-division world champion, unbeaten, one of boxing's biggest stars, one of boxing's most powerful knockout artists, a knockout percentage of well over 90%, steps into the ring against Isak Cruz, a hard punching contender, a young man who has won 17 straight fights since 2016. It should be a great event. It is being promoted by Mayweather Promotions, GTB Promotions, and of course, TGB Promotions as well. Tickets are on sale. You can purchase your tickets at AXS.com. Again, ASX.com. We're going to talk to both of the fighters. You'll hear from both of them. We're going to ask some questions. I know you members of the media here, you're going to have questions, going to allow you the opportunity to ask those questions directly to both of those fighters. But first, let me bring in some people who help make and bring all of this together. Let me start first with the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Mr. Leonard Ellerby.
He's on the Custer's on the bottom of the totem pole. I think he'll be boxing one day on ESPN.
Today. This is an exciting matchup with, again, the most exciting fighter in the world to my left, taking on Isak Cruz, again, who's a tough, hard-nosed lightweight. He's a top 10 contender across the board with all the ratings. He's a very, very exciting young fighter himself. And he's looking to come and knock Tank off his throne. The country of Mexico is riding very high off of the big Canelo win where he made history. And there's a big opportunity for Cruz to stand up for his country. And he's going to be looking to take Tank right on out. And I know for quite some time, I've been having my eye on him, talking with my good friend Sean Gibbons for quite some time. And I've had my eye on him really since he fought on Tank's undercard when we fought, excuse me, in San Antonio. And I was very, very impressed with the knockout that he had against Magdalena. And I had this conversation with Sean, and Sean was saying that, look, he coming for your boy. And I said, well, look, he might get that opportunity one day down the road. But again, Tank's always ready. He stay ready, so he ain't got to get ready. Again, so December the 5th, expect nothing but fireworks. This fight will definitely end in a knockout.
Thank you, Leonard. You know, the irony about this fight is both of these fighters have both been described as mini Mike Tysons. Isaac Cruz because of his punching power, and we know what Gervonta Davis brings to the ring. And you look at his knockout record, he's knocked out just about every fighter that has stepped into the ring with him. It should be one heck of a fight. Let me also bring in the president of TGB Promotions, the Hall of Famer himself, especially when it comes to matchmaking. Here's Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. And it is going to be an incredible night. And Los Angeles has always been a great boxing town going back more than 100 years. And when fighters from Mexico City come to Southern California to fight, they come with a ton of pride, courage, and desire. They flat out don't want to lose. And Isaac Cruz is a certified Mexican warrior from Mexico City. You know, the Staples Center has a rich tradition of bringing the best and biggest fights to Los Angeles. And with Tank Davis fighting, you know there's going to be an electrifying crowd in there that night. And something about the Staples Center always seems to bring out the best in the fighters also. So it's going to be bombs away on December 5, like Leonard said, and you don't want to miss this. Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. And of course, Sean Gibbons is a man who helps represent Isaac Cruz. Sean, if you would, just give us a statement about your fighter in this fight.
Yeah, just I want to thank Leonard Ellaby. I want to thank Mayweather Promotions, TGB, and for getting us this opportunity. Our promotion, Manny Pacquiao Promotions. This is our first fighter from Mexico we've ever signed. And when Manny saw Isaac Cruz fight, he saw him knock out Diego Magdaleno. He's got a lot of hope in the kid. He believes he's got the real deal. He's 23 years old, and coming from Mexico City, they don't get any tougher and better than that. So I think it's going to be a tremendous fight. And I think the fans are going to be the real winners here. And we're just happy to have Mayweather versus Pacquiao, Mayweather Promotions, Pacquiao Promotions, and Isaac Cruz December 5th.
Thank you, Sean. Way to just turn the knife here. Just add more animus to this fight. Way to go, Sean. All right, so let's hear from the fighters. Enough about us. I mean, we know what these guys can do. Tank is unbeaten. Isaac Cruz, 17 straight wins since 2016. Let's start with the contender here, Isaac Cruz. Isaac, if you would, give members of the media just your thoughts on this fight and finally getting into the ring with Tank Davis. Martin Bader will translate.
Thank you, Brian. Bueno, Isaac, contanos tus primeras sensaciones. Ya escuchaste a Lena, ya escuchaste a John, te han llamado un contendiente top 10, que sos un rival de temer. ¿Qué pensás vos de esta pelea?
No, pues antes que nada, a darles las gracias a Tom, a Sean, a Mayweather Promotion, a Gervonta por darme la oportunidad. Y bueno, nosotros vamos a hacer lo propio para dar una gran sorpresa el 5 de diciembre en el Staples Center.
Well, first of all, thank you to Tom, to Sean, to Mayweather Promotions, and of course Gervonta for giving me this great opportunity. And I'm ready to put on a show on December 5th at Staples Center.
Fantastic. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate that. And now let's bring in the champion. His version of the WBA lightweight title will be on the line. He's a 3-division world champion. He's known as Tank, Gervonta Davis. Gervonta?
I'm just happy to be here. Excited to be in this, this position. I've been working hard. Late, different opponent, but it is what it is. That's what comes with the sport of boxing. I know that it's a Cruz gonna come to fight, and it's going. Again, the fans don't lose. They definitely win. Come December the 5th, because it will be an exciting fight. I know he's coming, well prepared, and I'm coming well prepared. So I'm definitely grateful for this opportunity. Once again, thank you, to Mayweather Promotion, Bennett, himself, Mayweather himself, Al Heyman, Showtime. Is it
TGB.
TGB? Thank y'all for having us, and just everybody that's included to making this big event, happen. Even Steve Espinosa and things like that. So I'm just grateful to be in this position, ready to put on a great show December the 5th, and may everybody win.
Fantastic. Thank you. One thing you're going to get, whether it's Isaac Cruz, but with Gervonta Davis, you're going to get excitement and you're going to get knockouts. And I think that's what we want to see in the sport of boxing. It should be one heck of a fight. All right, guys, let's talk about this fight a little bit. And, Leonard, let me start with you, because I know members of the media are going to have this question. When you had to make the switch here and you bring in Isaac Cruz, how many guys did you seriously consider? And why Isaac Cruz?
Well, Isaac Cruz, again, he's across the board. He's a top 10 contender, one of the top lightweights in the world. And he's been that way. And he's coming to fight. He's coming to fight. And again, he's not no last minute replacement. So let me kind of clear that part up. He was already fighting on the card. So he's been training, and I know he's ready, and he's going to be ready. So again, it's going to be a terrific fight. He's from the opening bell, he's going to bring it to Tank. And Tank's going to have to be on point every second, because again, he's the kind of guy, again, just like Tank. He puts that kind of mental pressure on you, and he's a tremendous puncher. And again, this fight will end in a knockout.
Champ, Gervonta, what was your reaction when you got word that Rolly was being removed and Isaac Cruz was your new opponent?
It was a little disappointing, not for saying that I'm fighting Isaac Cruz, but just the build up for me and Rolly. But this is what happened with the sport of boxing. Anything can happen. So me, I just stay put, and whatever the task is, I'm always the one to step up to the plate and get the job done.
Isaac, let me come to you. What was your reaction when you got the call and they said Tank Davis wants to fight you and you would be the main event there on Showtime pay-per-view? What was your reaction when you got that call and it was Tank Davis, your new opponent?
Contanos, Isaac, ¿cuál fue tu reacción cuando levantaste el teléfono y te dijeron vas a estar en el evento principal con Tank Davis, Staples Center por Showtime? ¿Qué te pasó por la cabeza?
Fueron sentimientos encontrados, pero más que eso fue una gran motivación el escuchar de parte de mi empresa de Sean Gibbons y Manny Pacquiao Promotion esta gran oportunidad que me presentaron, y bueno, no la vamos a desaprovechar.
It was a wide array of feelings, but the most gratifying part of it is that I got to hear it from Sean Gibbons and Manny Pacquiao Promotions. The way this all started and it's almost coming full circle, it made me really happy, and it made me even more motivated to be ready for December 5th.
Isaac, listen, you've won 17 straight fights since 2016, but tell us why you believe you're the man who can finally defeat Tank Davis and that you are ready for this moment on pay-per-view.
Bueno, tu racha de victorias consecutivas es ciertamente impresionante, pero ¿por qué la gente debe creer que sos vos el que va a destronar a Tank Davis?
Pues yo creo que porque no ha enfrentado a un peleador con mis características Tank, y bueno, nosotros no nos vamos a confiar y vamos a llegar como lo que estamos llegando, como con el hambre que tenemos de triunfo.
We will certainly not be overconfident in any way at all, but I gotta tell you, Tank never fought against anybody of my style, of my characteristics. And we're working really hard in order to make that style and those characteristics be the most productive they can be on December 5th when Tank is going to have to be ready.
Well, Tank, let me get your response to that. How different of a fight is this going to be against Isaac Cruz compared to Rolly Romero?
I mean, I think that, to me, I think it's going to be more of an interesting fight because he come forward, I come forward. So there you have it. It's like two cars coming forward. It's going to be a big crash, so that's the only way I can put it, so it's definitely going to be something good, great, for the fans, for everybody. I think that it's going to be another exciting night for the sport of boxing. Just may the best man win. As long as he come with his A game, I'm coming with my A game, and get the fans what they want to see.
And give me your response to what he said. He said he doesn't believe that you fought anyone like him. So that kind of goes to what I think Leonard was talking about, that mental and physical pressure that he generally brings to opponents. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, he could say that. He's never fought nobody like me. Somebody that can box and actually can hit. He could say, Mike Tyson said, you say all that till you get hit in the face. So we just got to see come December the 5th. I will be ready. Hopefully he ready, and we get the fans what they want to see.
All right. Martin, if you could get Isaac's response to that.
Bueno, Isaac, lo que Tank te respondió es que, como dice Tyson, uno tiene un plan hasta que te golpean en la cara, ¿verdad? O sea, él dice que a la misma vez que vos, o sea, que él no se ha enfrentado a alguien como vos no estás enfrentado a alguien como él, y que la pelea lo entusiasma porque va a ser como un choque entre dos autos a toda velocidad. Vos encarando hacia él encarando hacia vos. ¿Qué te genera que Tank diga eso?
Ahora sí que el público va a ser el ganador porque va a haber una gran pelea entre el Pitbull y el Tank, y la afición va a estar al borde de la butaca el 5 de diciembre.
Well, you know what? Who's gonna truly win on December 5th? The fans, because Pitbull and Tank are gonna crash into each other, and it's gonna be fireworks, and people are gonna be on the edge of their seats. I can guarantee that.
Love that. Hey, Tank, one of the things I think I love is that I read, and generally you don't see this, when you have the top fighters in the game sparring and giving each other good work. And we've seen that with you and Sean Porter. So tell me about that work that you've gotten in with Sean Porter, and tell me why work with Sean Porter in advance of this fight with Isaac Cruz?
It definitely was a good experience to work with Sean Porter. My coach Barry Hunter, he called me and asked me do I want to work with Sean Porter. I said, why not? So we went up to his his gym and we got working. I know for sure after that sparring session, Sean know that I can hold my own. I can say the same for Sean. So he know that I'm one of them top guys, I say.
That's great. We'll wrap it up with this, and then I'll let the media ask you guys questions. Isaac, give me a final word on this. What can you guarantee us that we're going to see on December 5th when you step in the ring with Tank Davis, and why you believe you're the man that can finally give him a loss?
¿Qué sería una cosa que vos nos podés garantizar que nos vas a demostrar el 5 de diciembre? ¿Y por qué crees que Isaac Cruz va a poder derrotar a Gervonta Davis? ¿Cuál es la clave?
Pues la clave es las ganas de sobresalir, dar un nuevo giro de 360 grados a mi vida, darle un nuevo campeón a México, y bueno, es lo que me tiene motivado, es mi esposo y mi hijo, para poder pelearle a un gran peleador como es Tank Davis.
The one thing I can guarantee you is that I'm hungry and I am motivated, and I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for my wife, and my son, and to give Mexico another reason to be proud, and obviously to give my career another full turn, another 180-degree turn, and head towards even bigger things to come. And
Tank?
then
Go ahead.
wait, no, he's going to answer the second question, right? Like, you wanted to know the key to defeating Tank, right?
Yes, sure.
Bueno, pero contanos la clave para derrotar a Tank, o sea, estratégicamente, ¿cuál sería la razón por la que vas a derrotar a Tank?
Pues mi razón es de querer ser campeón del mundo, de querer obtener lo que él ya tiene en sus manos, yo quererlo tener en las mías.
And the key to defeat Tank is for me to want it more, to want those belts that he has, to want them in my hands. It's going to come down to determination.
Love it. Tank, give you the final word here. Again, what can you guarantee us that we're going to get on December 5th when we see you once again on pay-per-view? And will the knockout streak continue?
From December, we're going to be, fireworks. I know that for sure. I know that, it's going to be something that, you can't miss, or go to the stand and get no popcorn or anything like that. So, it's going to be, a tough task, but that's what I'm made for. This what I came to do. So definitely going to be fireworks. Can't wait. Make sure y'all tune in to Showtime PPV. Can't make it, if you can't make it, make sure y'all there early.
Love it. All right. I know there's members of the media who've got some questions. Andrew Roberts here from Swanson's Communication. He will acknowledge you. All you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon there on the Zoom. He will acknowledge you, and you can ask your question to either fighter. So, Andrew, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks very much, Brian. We're going to start off with Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Yes, my first question is for Tank. Tank, how do you view this fight against Isaac Cruz in comparison to Rolando Romero? Do you see it as a tougher fight?
I think that it's definitely a tougher fight. I want to say because I can't. I'm not for sure. I can't say because I never been in the ring with Rolly, and I never been in the ring with Isaac Cruz yet, so I can't say. I think probably after I face both of them, then I can answer that question.
That Rolly's fight's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay, I just have one other question related to this, Tank. How does this fight different in terms of the buildup of the fight? Because, of course, Rolly had a lot to say, which I'm sure got under your skin a little bit. Isaac Cruz is a completely different type of person. He's not really going to say a whole lot. How is that different in terms of getting ready for the fight from a promotional standpoint?
I mean, you gotta adapt to whatever come your way. Just as well I adapted to Rolly, I could adapt to Cruz. At first I was like, I wasn't even gonna do interviews or come to the press conference with Rolly, and I adapted to that. I knew where he was coming. I knew what was his game plan to throw me off my tracks. And now I'm just chilling. I'm just adapting to the new opponent. Now I got to figure out what's going on with how he's moving, like how he's thinking, when he come into the fight, come December 5th. So it's all a big part about me just, adapting to what's in front of me.
Thanks, Tank.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Our next question is going to come from Jim Conlon. Jim, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
My first question is for Tank. Tank, is there any fighter that Isaac has beaten on his record so far that you said that's an impressive sort of victory, or is there any sort of accomplishment that you've seen from Isaac Cruz that you feel he can step in the ring with you?
Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, I'm just is there any fight or victory on Isaac's record that impresses you, and is there to make you think that he can step into the ring with you?
I mean, all his fights impress me. he's a guy that coming in and he coming to win. You know, he's never coming in to lose or anything like that. He's never coming in to just hang in there. He's coming in there actually to win. You know, so he's definitely it's not an opponent that I'm overlooking or anything like that. I know he's going to come to fight. So a win over him would definitely be, you know, big for me. You know, just a stepping stone to what, you know, where I need to go.
And my last question is for Isaac. Isaac, you're coming into this fight as a wild card and nothing to lose sort of fight for you. Do you sort of feel that this could be a moment to savor in your life in terms of this opportunity? Do you feel it's a God blessing for you?
Bueno, Isaac, vos llegás a esta pelea sin nada que perder. ¿Sentís que es como un regalo del cielo? ¿Algo como que vas a disfrutar al máximo pase lo que pase?
Sí, claro, yo siempre estoy agradecido con Dios por las oportunidades que Él me pone y bueno, nosotros vamos a hacer nuestro trabajo para aprovecharlo.
Of course, yeah. I'm always thankful to God for the opportunities that He provides us. And then in the end, my duty is to, you know, give my all and work hard in order to take advantage of the opportunities that I'm presented.
All right, great. Thanks, Jim. Our next question is going to come from Terrell Van. Terrell, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, I can. The highest I think I could compete in is probably you never know. Probably 47. Probably. I can't tell right now. So, you know, I just want to be able to, you know, whenever it's time to move up to any division, any weight class, I can be able to do it. So I definitely don't want to take punishment, you know. So I mean, you never know. I want to have fun with the sport of boxing after I put in the work, you know. So you never know, bro. You never know. I probably can get up to 160. Yeah, you never know. You never know. So I just gotta handle business, you know, till then.
All right, thanks, Terrell. Our next question is going to come from Michael Rita. Michael, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
My bad. Did y'all hear my question?
My first question is going to be for Tank. As you said, you know, the difference in fighters between Rolly and Isaac. Seeing now also the last few fighters you had, they've been a little bit taller than you. Cruz is around your height. Does that make your, you know, preparation for this fight a little different, knowing that you don't have to be, you know, punching up maybe as much to your opponent?
Yeah, he's not my height. He's shorter than me. No, but it make a big difference. You know, I normally, you know, fight taller people, like you said, but it make a big difference. So I gotta adjust to, you know, this is not the first person on the show, but it's definitely gonna be different, you know. So I mean, I just gotta adapt to, you know, what he coming with, you know. Just like I said, I gotta feed off of, you know, everything, not just, you know, him coming that fight night. You know, I just gotta feed off of everything, like building up to it, see what's his approach. Even this right here, this press conference, even him talking, you know, I just gotta feed off it and just figure him out, you know, all through the process.
I asked him what's the highest weight division
My other
he
question is going
compete
to be for
in.
Isaac. It's going to be in Spanish. I can't do that. Isaac, con Tank, ya sabes el estilo que tiene, la poder que tiene en las manos. ¿Qué es algo que tú piensas que puedes traer a él que él no ha mirado en el ring hasta este momento en la carrera?
Pues igual el presionar, el poder dar mi fuerza en cada golpe.
The question from Michael Reda was, what do you think that you can bring to the fight against Tank that he isn't necessarily going to be expecting in the way that he hasn't faced it before? And the answer from Isaac was the fact that I can come forward and present my power. Once I show him my power, then I think the fight will take a turn.
All right. Thanks very much. Our next question is going to come from Eamon Khan with Boxing Social. Eamon, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you guys. This question, first of all, is for Gervonta Davis, or maybe Leonard, you could probably answer this better. Eddie Hearn a few weeks back mentioned to me that he was looking to throw Devin Haney's name into the mix for this fight. Can you confirm if a concrete offer was ever made?
And fuck Eddie Hearn. Fuck Eddie Hearn. We're here to talk about Isaac Cruz. We got a big pay-per-view fight on December the 5th.
No problem at all. The next question is for Isaac Cruz then. Isaac, a lot of people are tipping Gervonta Davis for that superstar marquee trajectory. Isaac, do you believe Gervonta Davis is on that path?
Bueno, Isaac, hay gente que cree que, mucha gente que cree que Gervonta está destinado a ser una superestrella en el boxeo. ¿Vos opinás lo mismo?
Pues él lo va a demostrar conforme vaya pasando el tiempo también.
Pero para vos, ¿qué él está ascendiente o qué?
Pues para mí es un oponente más, para mí no significa algo imposible para poder destronarlo.
Look, in the end, it's going to be up to him to show his potential superstar stars on the ring. But to me personally, he's not an impossible mountain to climb and nothing impossible to dethrone either.
All right. Thanks, Simon. Our next question is going to come from Danny Flexen with Seconds Out. Danny, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, yeah, so I've got one for each guy. So, Gervonta, starting with you, if that's okay. If all goes well on Saturday in the big fight, on the fight date, what is your short-term plan for the next year? Who would you like to fight? What would you like to achieve?
That's beat whoever they put in front of me. That's my job. It could be anybody. That's just my job. To beat whoever they put in front of me. Can't say too much. That's it.
Thank you. And a question for Isaac Cruz. Before this fight was made, obviously after the Romero issue, was Gervonta Tank Davis on your radar? How aware were you of what he was like as a fighter? Was he someone you were looking to fight anyway?
Bueno, antes de todo esto de la cancelación de Romero, de que vos seas nombrado, ¿lo tenías visto a Gervonta? ¿Era alguien que tenías en tu radar y alguien que decías, ojo que lo voy a poder enfrentar pronto?
Sí, claro, yo siempre he querido pelear con los mejores y bueno, ahorita no fue la excepción. Me dieron una gran oportunidad de poder pelear con Gervonta y bueno, es lo que estamos haciendo, preparándonos para pelear contra él.
Yeah, of course, because I always want to fight the best, regardless of when that time may come. And now we are training really hard in order to be up to that challenge.
All right, great. Thanks, Danny. Our next question is going to come from Julius Julianis with ESPN Knockout. Julius, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, my question is for Isaac Cruz. I will say it in Spanish. Isaac, las apuestas han abierto teniéndote como no favorito bastante claro. ¿Eso te supone una motivación especial para este combate?
Sí, claro que sí. Ahora sí que yo voy a remar contra corriente, contra todos los prototipos que están en contra de mí y voy a demostrarles que estoy para los grandes nombres como es en este momento.
Muchas gracias.
Well, the question... sorry, Julius, you have another question?
No.
Okay. The question from Julius was the fact that in the gambling scene, Isaac is clearly an underdog, and the question was whether that bothered him. And Isaac said that he's swimming upstream. He's well aware of the fact that many, if not all, of the people that are prognosticating this fight consider him a clear underdog. But he's ready to show that he can be up there in the marquee with all the stars that he wants to join after he wins this fight.
All right. Thanks, Julius. Our last question is going to come from Rick Muhammad with Brawler Sports Media. Rick, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, what's up, champ? Much respect. Leonard, my main man. What's happening, y'all? Hey, so with the sellout that you guys did at State Farm Arena, Tank, man, it's even bigger going to the West Coast now. That's kind of like performing in Vegas. Can you imagine what the fan base is going to respond to you like now in the LA market? This is big for you, man. You're already a superstar. You about to take it to a whole nother level.
I hate questions like that.
Yeah, just
Cocksucking questions.
Again, I'm excited to be in this position. I'm definitely grateful. I'm not trying to take advantage of it. Definitely stay. Keep my my focus and try to continue to grow as a person, as a fighter, as a star. Just each and every day, I'm trying to improve.
All right, great. Thanks very much, Rick. That'll be the end of our media Q&A. I'll turn it back over to Brian Custer to wrap it up.
Okay, Drew, thank you very much. So, folks, there you have it. You've heard from everybody. We'll wrap it up with this. Martin, if you could, give Isaac Cruz one last statement as we close it out. What does he want everyone to know?
Bueno, un último mensaje, Isaac, por favor, para la prensa, para los aficionados. ¿Qué necesitan saber de acá al 5 de diciembre?
Invitarlos a que no se pierdan una gran pelea que voy a estar protagonizando el próximo 5 de diciembre contra el Tank Davis y vamos a dar la sorpresa. Y bueno, estamos para darles una nueva estrella mexicana y nuevo campeón del mundo.
Well, first of all, I want to invite everybody to tune in, come to the Staples Center on December 5th. It's going to be a great fight, and I'm ready to shock the world, to pull the upset, and put up another star in the pantheon of world champions of Mexican boxing.
Oh, all right. Tank Davis, give you the last word, my friend. What do you want people to know about December 5th?
December 5th going to definitely be a firework show. Great event. It's not going to just be, a boxing match. It's definitely going to be a big event. I think that, there's going to be a lot of people there. Just come out, man. Each and every day we work hard to, please the fans and things like that. So, again, it's definitely going to be a firework fight, and it's something that the fans, can look forward to. This just ain't regular fight. I think this is a big fight. I think this is going to be probably one of the best fights of 2021. So everybody, come out and support.
Champ, thank you very much. I'll tell you why it's going to be a big event. Thanks to Tom Brown of TGB Promotions. Thank you to Leonard Ellerby of Mayweather Promotions. And thank you to Gervonta as well, who's got his own promotional company as well, GTD Promotions as well. That's why it will be a big event. Tickets on sale, folks, at AXS.com. Make sure you get your tickets. You got the 3-division world champion, Gervonta Davis, one of the biggest knockout artists in the game right now, undefeated, taking on the hard-hitting Isaac Cruz Sunday, December 5th, Showtime pay-per-view from Los Angeles, the Staples Center. You don't want to miss it. You certainly thank everybody who joined us here for this press conference. And of course, we will see you fight week in the City of Angels, Los Angeles, the first week of December. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.
Record.
Damn, they just kicked us out. So let's talk about it. Recap it real quick. The Tank Davis Rolly Romero fight is still alive. You can tell by the way Tank Davis was talking. He was asked a question by one of the media members. How would he rate both fighters? And basically, you can tell he really thought about it. He didn't want to say that Isaac Cruz is a much better fight, which a lot of people and media feel, because, then if he were to fight Rolly after, if the Rolly, grapey Rolly scandal get cleaned up, you can tell he didn't want to come biting back later on where people like, oh, he already said Isaac Cruz was a better fighter. So now he's fighting a step down in Rolly. So something is telling me that they're going to revisit that if Rolly makes it out after, I'm guessing, whatever hush money is going to be paid to whoever's been making these allegations against Rolly. We talked about it at the very beginning of the video. If you didn't get to hear, I did get to ask Tank a question, and I asked him basically what division, what's the highest division can he compete in, and what division would he like to end his career. So he danced it around a little bit, but basically cited that he, wanted to end his career without taking a lot of punishment. But he did say he can go all the way up to 160. I just asked the question. All right. If you don't know, it's going to be a pay-per-view fight, December the 5th on Showtime pay-per-view. The event is going to feature on the card, opening up with Eduardo Ramirez versus Miguel Marriaga. So you get Derevyanchenko versus Carlos Adames. That can right there be its own card. Sebastian Fundora versus Sergio Garcia can be its own card. That Fundora Sergio Garcia is a WBC final eliminator to face Erickson Lubin, and then the winner of Fundora Garcia Lubin is going to be the WBC